Hello, my name is Ronald Bamtesiza, and this is my recording for the final project. And as you can see, I focused on the sports uh, because that's the API I was able to find. And I was supposed to explain why I'm going to use the local host. When I wrote to the instructor and I told him that I'm having a problem with the logging in Netlify and actually registering this app. I've tried multiple times in all ways, but when I try, I always get an error. And so the instructor told me that I should just use localhost and just show everything as it is, and then the instructor will be able to stand and then share the GitHub also file of that. So this is my sports site, as you can see. It's all about sports. It's called Sports for You. And I'm fetching the API that I'm using, took it from here, a Rapid API. And this is the one for sports, and I'm using specifically for the NFL. Some of these are Get, they are the ones that I'm using in my app. And skip that error. And so this is if I can show that what it works, this is my Visual Studio Code. As you can see, I have the setup, the different JavaScript, different index HTMLs for the teams, for the team players, and also the footer and the header, which I'll have to dynamically put into the app. You can see that I'm using that media screen, using them here, be able to make sure that there's responsiveness in the web application. That one is for CSS. And then also, of course, I have the events that I'll show there. And for this app, uses also local storage. Can navigate here quickly, be able to show that data that is stored in the local storage. So this is my local storage. And what happens is because the querying the data from the API costs is limited. So the data that I first take from the API, I get it and then I store it in the local storage and it stays there. So what happens is when someone requests for the data, as I'm going to show you, the first thing is that I have to check in the local storage. If that data is already there, then I just have to use that. I don't have again to use the limited number of times that I have to query the data. So that's my local storage also. And I'll just briefly show what the app does, and then I'll be able to put this code later. So this is what my app does. You can see when I try to hover on the buttons, they transform. Even the entire section itself transforms. So when I can be able to click at the look at the teams, and then I can be able to see all the teams, literally all the teams in the NFL. And I can also be able to look at each specific team, and I can view their players, like this one. I can be able to see the players of that team and their pictures and all the details. I can be able to see them, any of the players that are in that specific team. And I can also be able to view the information about the team because this information here is very small. So I created a link that I can be able to click, or a user can click. You'll see the more detailed information about the team, the location, the abbreviation, their colors, and more of that. And so then the other thing, even if I try to move around on this, I'm having a small detail here, but we can try to go back here. The other thing that this site does is we can be able to access news about different teams, news about the things that have happened. So if you can just click here, a person can just click here, and then they can be able to bring for them the news, the heading about the news, the description about the news, and then if they feel like pressed, they can then click on this and they can read the full article. You can see that whenever the user hovers on that, it changes. It changes not only this, but each card that the user tries to navigate to, it changes. We would let them know that that's where they are. So basically, that's been the application for the final project, including all those things that I've learned to use the local storage, to be able to query data from the API, use events, and also use JavaScript. Of course, it's at the back end of everything. And also CSS for responsiveness. And as you look here, this is these are three, but if we can try to show something here, okay, we can try to do this. You can see that on a small screen size, like all these things will be like in block. All of them, they will be in block. They will not be as they are at the large screen size, like here. They are divided. They are two, and then the other one. So that's all. That's been the project. Thank you very much.